This is a pillow that I made. On this side it says, what makes you different is what makes you beautiful. And then it's my face. And that's all. I just wanted to flex on the pillow I made.
That's pretty cool.
And sit on it. Sit on my face. Welcome to my podcast. This is my podcast. It's called the Speakeasy Comedy Podcast. Yeah, so I have the lovely Mr. Ryan Butterfield today. Welcome, Ryan.
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you, man. Thanks for being on the pod.
The pod, yeah, this is my first pod. I'm excited.
Yeah, welcome. I'm psyched to have you here. But I'm also going to mention that if you want to see more pods, if you want to see more podcasts, the Speakeasy podcast specifically, and you think that I should be paying these lovely folks for their time, because they do take time out of their day to talk about comedy, and there's all the expenses that comes with that. Then donate to the GoFundMe, and I'll just put it in the little ticker at the bottom here, because I learned how to do that.
A lot of expenses.
So the point of the Speakeasy podcast, just like the Speakeasy stand-up show, is you can say whatever you want, just try to make it funny, and also say whatever you want, and if it's not funny, I'm just going to edit it out. So the way that I do it is, there's a long version, right? So however long we talk, 1, 2, 3 hours, me and Joel talked for 3 hours.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
His Latin side, like his Latin family, and also his spirituality, like his religion, Mormonism.
Right.
He's a really unique guy.
Yeah, for sure. I love Joel.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. So he did mention something about you.
Yeah.
He said that you made a TikTok of him that he wasn't very fond of.
Oh.
And now you guys have a feud, like a speakeasy feud. Something about his head being too small.
Oh yeah. Joel Timms, love you, man. Your head is way too small for your body. You remember when we did the show here, and it was just the first 5 minutes, I was just roasting the other comedians on the show.
Yes. So, yeah.
If you see Joel Timms, it looks like his head is too small for his body.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Oh my god.
But that's because the rest of his body is super it's well put together. It's kind of jacked, and he's working out. He's strong. Yeah, he's everything. Do some neck exercises. That'll disguise it.
build
your neck. Build your neck out a little bit, and that's gonna elevate your head, Joel. All right.
Okay. Get it together, Joel.
Yeah, Joel.
So is there a speakeasy feud, or is there no feud?
No, it's not a feud.
What if he had a retaliation?
Huh? No, that'd be super funny. If we could just have a fake Twitter beef.
Okay,
or fake TikTok beef.
Yeah. Well, he's like, I wasn't. He didn't even make it so I could stitch it on TikTok. That's what he was saying.
Oh, I didn't know how.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know how.
I don't know how to stitch it or do anything. That was one of my first uploads.
Yeah. You're like, I don't even know how this fucking app works. I didn't even know how to switch the camera on my very first.
Yeah, no one's ever shared it. I'm pretty sure you have to enable share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stitch.
I never did that. So, which that could have really helped me. I think if I would have stitched some of those other stuff.
Yeah, because people that's another way of getting or blowing up or getting views. Or
yeah, because somebody shares it and somebody else shares it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just never did that because I didn't know how.
Yeah. Where can we see you this month, Ryan?
You can see me post inconsistently on TikTok at Ryan Butterfield Comedy. And
Ryan Butterfield Comedy.
I have an Instagram page, Ryan Butterfield Comedy as well. So
cool.
Yeah, you can go check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely we will.
Definitely check it out.
And where can we see you this month? Where are you performing?
In Tara Buchanan's living room at Speakeasy Comedy, probably.
Thursday, May 27th at 8 p.m. We always stream live on Instagram, so check it out.
Yeah.
We'll see you there, buddy. I'm glad we're talking about your comedy because I've noticed that you have improved a lot of your premises. You have more story. You have really built more and more, and then you have a lot of tags to add to each of those premises too, and they really, I would say that you do tell stories more and more. Since
more, yeah.
From the first time I met you to now,
yeah, that's fair, yeah.
Definitely. you also have a style of your voice. You almost sound like you're from Boston.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to... You know what's hilarious? One time, like, I was working at the grocery store, and this guy... I was talking to this guy. I was trying to help him find something, and he's just like, are you from New York? And I'm just like, because you have like a New York accent. I'm like, no, I just watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not trying to do an accent, but it's like I think it's just from playing sports my whole life. It's like that gravelly, like,
sure,
like, wow,
sure,
let's go.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know what you're saying. Because when I was living in Toronto, I had like a, what are we doing on Saturday? Like, I talked kind of like this. What is this voice? I don't know, almost like how Jaden Smith talks in that movie with Will Smith that they did together. He's like, I'm not a coward. Like, what is it? And then he jumps off the fucking Earth.
Oh,
Earth
yeah.
Earth 2.0.
Yeah, like he had like a futuristic accent or something like that.
Yeah, where you don't say there's no hard ERs. There's only like soft A's. So I had this...
That kind of describes Will Smith's rap career.
Slam Will Smith.
I mean, hey, it worked out for him.
Yeah, but then as soon as I moved out west, I almost did the same thing that Tommy Mellor started doing. Just like, oh my God, I got up on the stage.
I blacked out. I don't know what happened.
Like this type,
this
type of like Canadian.
Like, that dirtbag, like small town Canadian
overly
voice.
just like.
Every comic does that for something. They have like that over the top Canadian accent for something.
And at first I was kind of like mad. I was like, yeah, just change your voice, man. Like, what the fuck? But then I realized that I did it too.
Yeah.
And you have to adapt your style. I think you have to have like a little bit of a brand. And so I can see that, with you.
Yeah. I played football down in North Dakota, and I didn't notice like I had a Canadian accent, and like it's not as bad as other ones, but like they're just like, oh no, you have an accent. Like they're just like it's slight, but like they're just like in certain words I say like
sure.
Tell. Remember Maron's TV show when it was like Mark Maron's TV show when he was like, he just like there was an episode where like he kind of like did like all the different versions of like what his life could have been, and like he did like because like he used to be an alcoholic, and he's just like, yeah, what if I never like got like clean, and then I just kind of like succumbed to like all the craziness. So like he had like a little dream sequence where like he's just like out in the street, and like he's basically doing like those rants like, in the beginning of his podcast, but like he's just doing it out in the street as a homeless guy. Okay. Just like, wake up, sheeple! You don't know what you're talking about. It's just like it's the mind. They're all burying it in, and it's just like because he would just do stuff like that. He's just like, it's all messed up, man.
It's all in their heads, man.
It's all in their head. Wake up, people.
Sheeple. Oh, that is too much.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so good. Yeah, I don't know if I've really watched Mark Maron. It's like when you say his name, I've heard of it.
Right.
Couldn't picture his face in my head if I tried. It's like people will say Mitch Hedberg. I'm like, oh yeah, can't picture his face.
Oh really? Were you not a big Mitch Hedberg guy? Lady?
I don't I'm not really a big Mitch Hedberg guy or lady.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never watched it. I guess I've watched his stuff a couple times.
He's got he's one of the most unique deliveries, I think, hands down. Just because like his speech pattern and like the way he like goes about his jokes, like it's just like it's so goofy, like you just can't help but laugh. Like it's just it's like. Because like all the guys now, like Sam Morelli and Mark Norman,
I like Mark Norman.
They all do that.
Is Mark Norman sexy?
No.
He just like he is. Hang on, okay. Like I've seen a couple of reels on Instagram of him just like doing chin-ups, and I'm like, is Mark Norman like fit and funny? What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of has that, like, Ben Cannon kind of face. And, kind of like, oh, like, and, like,
comedy. Hey, what's going on? Yeah.
Where he's kind of like, even if we were having sex, he'd be like, I'm inside your pussy. What? Crazy.
Oh, you're great. I love you.
And I actually do really. I think that type of comedy and sense of humor is pretty precious. I think it's funny.
For some reason, like you seem like a Mark Norman, like that's your type of guy.
Honestly,
is that like your type of like? Is that like your flavor?
That's a really good question because that leads into one of my segments I do on this called Tara's Tinder.
Right.
Where you will undoubtedly find out what my type isn't.
Right.
Tinder with Tara.
Tara's Tinder.
Tara's Tinder with Tara.
Let's find her a match.
Let's find her a match.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Ryan, welcome back.
Thank you.
To Tinder with Tara number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we were on Murado, I think, where we left off.
And so far, I think this guy's the one.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I think he's got like motorcycles. He's got a cowboy hat. He's got Gucci.
Oh, Gucci.
Like everything about this guy says like, I feel like this is the good guy. Like this is
money.
This is money.
This is muscles.
Muscles in shape.
And
Vegas.
Yeah, MMV baby.
Yeah.
That's all I need. I'm gonna go ahead and you know what? Those nipples are not doing it for me. Sorry, Murado.
No, this guy's like the president of UFC.
But
imagine the CEO of Tap Out. You are correct. Like that
guy, is exactly what he looks like.
That's exactly whatever you thought. That's exactly what he looks like.
Yeah, and he looks like this guy.
He looks like that guy.
Yeah. Sorry, Murado, but not my type. I'm just not into. What am I saying? I do love UFC so much, but yeah, can't say yes. Ryan. Okay. So far, I'm on board with his name.
Okay. Oh, yeah. He's got that, classic good looks there.
Yeah, he's a bit serious looking.
He's serious. He's got a little bit too much light on his face right now.
A little too much lighting, yeah.
Yeah.
But at least there is lighting.
Took it on at night.
Okay.
You got to smile in your photos.
Yeah, you do have to smile. He's a little bit solemn.
So, yeah.
Okay, there it is. All right. He's got teeth.
Oh,
That's good to know.
He looks like that guy that played Elton John in the movie.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
okay.
Targan or whatever his name is.
So he looks like an actor. Okay,
yeah.
That's good.
Oh,
he's got some body art.
He's got Poseidon.
Wow. Okay, he's godly. All right, this looks like vaping. Yeah, this doesn't look like cigarettes, thank God. Okay, and then there's this. Yeah, King.
He's white boy.
King.
He's white boy mean mugging.
Yeah. I mean, he seems confident. He seems like he knows what he likes. Yeah. He also smiled in one of his pictures. Way to go.
Yeah.
He looks active because he's wearing shoes, I guess. I'm going to be honest, though. I'm not really attracted to him at first glance. I'm sorry, Ryan.
All right.
I'm going to have to pass on him.
Okay.
It's classic. We love bums. I don't know why.
Yeah, why do girls love bums so much?
Good dick.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's just homelessness just elevates it. That's what I've noticed about romantic comedies. Like the guy is like the guy that comes back into the life and then she's with like the new guy.
Yeah. Like
the new guy is just like he's perfect in every way. Like he's got like a good job, he's good with the kids or whatever. But like he's just boring.
Yeah.
He's just boring. And he just doesn't like ignite the passion or whatever. And like this guy, I forget what movie it was, but like it was like exactly it was like some movie where the guy came back and he was just like he used to be like a drug addict and like he just abandoned like the kid and like he just never had like a real job or whatever, and then he changed, he got more mature, and then she was with this guy and then there's like it was one scene where like he starts playing the bagpipes, like the new guy, and then she just like that's when like she starts questioning everything.
Nothing dries a pussy up faster than the fucking bagpipes.
Just because she's gonna marry the dude, and it's just like, oh wait, is this what I want to live the rest of my life with? But like the guy, I'm like, yeah, and then but like that movie made no sense to me because like that never came up until like the day of the wedding.
Yeah, for some reason. Why'd you wait so long?
Why did you wait? And then she's like, oh, I still have feelings for him. He was like, wasn't he like abandon you and like was like a dirtbag and stuff? Like I'm just like, yeah. So yeah, homelessness equals good dick, huh?
I mean, I'm not gonna say that I've slept with a lot of homeless people, but So anyways, Ryan.
Yeah. That speaks volumes.
Yeah, I honestly, there is something about the way that I was raised and like just the absence of my dad. You know, my dad was really there for me for like a time.
Right.
From like the time I was like 11 to I'd say like 15, 16.
Yeah.
When I started like hitting puberty and having my period and all that. My dad was really there for me.
Yeah.
But he was also just like, you're fucking crazy. Like he
just didn't know how to deal with a teenager girl. Yeah.
So he shut down a lot, like put a lot of walls up with me.
Yeah.
And there's something about the psychology of like having your dad be absent to you in that emotional kind of way because I was acting crazy.
Right.
It was impossible to deal with me. Just tears all the time.
Right.
Tears all the time. Not setting goals for myself, being such a bad... Can you imagine being around a miserable, non-goal setting piece of shit?
Well, I remember how moody I was as a teenager, and just like, oh man, I was just like a jerk for no reason. Like I was just an emotional mess. You know?
And it felt all-encompassing, and you felt so self-righteous. Like, of course I'm like this. This is so hard for me. You don't get it. I didn't ask to be born.
Yeah, I never said that, but I know what you mean.
So I was impossible. For a long time. And also I had a lot of like mental health issues too, like my eating disorder, my mom wasn't around, or you know, like she went to jail. I had all these problems of like trying to fill these voids. So when it came to relationships, when there was an opportunity to take care of someone else instead of myself,
you kind of just like full bore in.
Totally. Something about it's too hard to learn how to fill the voids of my own self.
Right.
So I'll try and fix him. Yeah. That's the only way I can really look at it.
Yeah.
So when I try not to do that and I try to focus inward and take care of my own shit and do stuff that's meaningful to me and have meaningful goals, it really improves my self-esteem and makes me not go for men like that anymore.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah.
So what religion did you grow up with?
Christian, yeah.
Okay. What was that like?
I don't know. It's just like for me, like I still like I would consider myself religious, but like I'm a Christian, but like I just kind of like I do like the best way I can put it is just like I don't always think like God minds that what I do. Like I'm just like he's not gonna judge me or do anything. Like he's just like, you just do your thing, man. You're doing fine. Or
that's cool.
Maybe that's just me like not wanting to own up to any responsibility, but.
Well, I mean, it's like Ryan, you're just like railing coke. God doesn't.
But I don't. Yeah, but I don't do.
Some out for him.
I don't do any of that stuff. But like you know what I'm talking about. Like just like I don't have to feel guilty about like like swearing or having a drink or some stuff like that.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got it. That's so cool that you have like a good relationship with this higher power. Right. I think it's really it says a lot. It says a lot about your character and your self-awareness. Yeah. To give yourself a break, like. Yeah, and it just I think for like the longest time, like I just felt guilty about everything I did, and I'm just like, but like I'm like why? You know what I mean? Like some people are just like, oh, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, but like I'm like, yeah, that may be part of it, but it's just also like, but why? Like everybody else just kind of gets to live their life, and like they don't have like this. Maybe it's other stuff probably in their life that like where they feel like there's like the weight or whatever. But like I don't. Why do I gotta feel that? All the time. Like I don't need to feel that. Like is that really God, or is that just like my own like societal and parents and like all that stuff, all that pressure from others stuff that's just coming down on me, like I just kind of made the decision like I'm not gonna let certain stuff just bother me because there's no reason to. It's good to enjoy your life. Yeah absolutely. I think we innately know down in our hearts that that's what life is about. It's about being happy and enjoying it. Yeah. Within reason, obviously. Within reason, yeah. And yeah, giving yourself, being like gentle with your, it's such a self-care thing to say, but like being gentle with yourself, like, you wanted to have fucking cookies today, Tara. It's fine. Okay? Yeah. Don't hang yourself like with your guilt noose because
yeah,
it just makes it so much worse.
It does, and I think it's just the guilt and like the shame and like it just all kind of like some guilt and shame sometimes is good. Like sometimes people they need that to be a motivator. Like you need because like you're just messing up with your life or whatever, and you need a little bit of like of a balance where just like okay, this isn't right. I need to kind of straighten myself out. But I think if you let that kind of like control you all the time, then you miss out on the joy of life and like the spontaneity of life. I think
definitely. Well put.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you did stand up?
Yeah.
Where was it?
It was at a little hole in the wall bar called Sonic in Kensington Market, Toronto, Ontario.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I was actually a heckler. I was heckling, and the producer of the show, Van Dad Kadar, after the show, he's like, you fucking talk a lot. Because hecklers always think that they're adding to the show. You're not adding. You're never adding. It's a rehearsed thing that they're doing. Yeah. Can you imagine you're trying to do a Shakespeare play? Not to compare my comedy to Shakespeare.
Don't compare dick jokes to like Shakespeare.
Not to compare anyone's comedy to Shakespeare, okay? But it's like, fucking Lysander trying to be like something around the and then somebody being like oh yeah, been there. Don't ever do that. But I didn't know. I thought I was adding to the show.
Right. Yeah.
So he comes up to me after and he's like, you fucking talk a lot. Why don't you do your first set next week? And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, so you followed through with it.
Yeah. That's how I started. Yeah, I think my first joke was about stepping in dog shit.
Oh, really?
And how you always know when you step in dog shit because you do that little slide. You're like, So you run into somebody and then they can smell it and then you can smell it. And so you find a public restroom to start washing off the poo, but you always turn the faucet way too hot, so you just end up giving yourself a doggy poo facial. And that smell never leaves. It's always
didn't everybody was just like, oh, that's really funny?
No. It was a really hard room.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You bombed your first time?
Oh, yeah, I definitely bombed. I think people were kind of like, good for you, it's your first time. And like a couple of my friends were there.
Yeah.
But this was like, Sonic was an old, dilapidated house that was like sideways. It looked like it was from a Dr. Seuss novel. And you walk in, there's a bar on your left, 3 tables on the right that are all on a bench that's coming out of the wall.
Right.
There's like a piano somehow and stacks of games on top of the piano. The bar has like a fridge. It's all like only a hallway.
Oh, yeah.
And then to get upstairs to where the comedy is, you have to climb up a ladder. and then it's sort of like dilapidated
that's
steps.
So awesome.
It was fun. It was awesome.
That's just so grungy. That's
you get
great.
To the top. There's like 5 tables, but again, all along a bench. So you have like 3 tables along the bench, and then you have just chairs facing, and pillars in the middle, so it's like you can't fucking see. And there's one is so hot up there. It's Toronto in the middle of summer. Yeah. It's so humid.
Yeah.
There's one window with an old, decrepit, fucking yellow, sun-stained fan that is so loud that they like turn off while the person is like performing, but as soon as they're done, they turn it on. And,
my god!
Or I guess they would keep it on during, but maybe it was blowing.
And you did that, and you're just like, I want to do it again.
Yeah. How about you? How did you start?
I started down in the States in college.
That's so cool.
They did.
Where in the States?
In North Dakota, which is less cool.
Yeah. Also, it's one of the Dakotas, so let's be real.
It's not even the good Dakota. It doesn't have like the Mount Rushmore or anything like that. Yeah, so like they had an open mic night at the college. Just like it said, like slam poetry, singing,
like a variety.
Yeah, stand-up comedy. And I'm just like, oh wait, I can do stand-up comedy because like I've always been like the guy that was like kind of like behind on everything. So like around that time, like I was like that was like when I first started listening to podcasts, and like everybody was just like, oh, do you know about podcasts? Like, yeah, dude. Like everybody knows about podcasts.
I just started listening last week. Catch up.
But like I was like the guy all throughout high school that had like the flip phone. Like I've always like been behind on everything.
Sure.
So I'm like, and then I'm listening to I think it was Joe Rogan. It was like Joe Rogan and Doug Stanhope, and they were just doing, like, they were talking about, like, crappy, like, you know, open mics that they did at like a bar or whatever. And I'm like, wait, you can just do that? Like, I didn't understand like how it worked.
Yeah, you don't know how to start it. Right?
Because like I wanted to do it like years before, but like I didn't understand how it worked. Like I thought it was like you were an actor, and like you went to like it was like if you weren't good enough to be in movies, you did like monologues.
Sure. Or that you'd have to get hired or do an audition or something.
Yeah,
you don't know, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What's the third party?
So I thought it was like some sort of weird like acting like discipline or something like that. And then it was just like, oh yeah. And then I wrote like a couple minutes, and then I went on stage.
What was your jokes about? Do you remember?
I told a story about my my cousin trying to like stab me over like Nintendo.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like
Nintendo, so behind the times.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no. Over Nintendo, and then like just like my grandma just kicking the shit out of him.
Oh shit, grandma.
Yeah. Mine was like 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 an auditorium, like how big an auditorium? It was like a theater.
Yeah.
Like a theater auditorium.
Yeah.
And there was like 10 people. So like there's like
that's like, fucking beautiful.
There's like 100 seats or whatever, and like there's just 10 people in the middle.
Yeah.
And then they actually hired somebody to like host it. And it was like a slam poet from like Baltimore or something like that.
Okay, rad.
Yeah, and then she was doing all this, and like she was like, I remember she was like a black lady, and she was doing all this like very woke racial stuff, and like it was like white as day, like North Dakota, so like nobody knew what she was talking about. And then
I once did a show at Mount Royal University.
Oh yeah.
For 10 people, yeah, and they're fucking like not an auditorium, but it was like a stage in a cafeteria sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
And
the cafeteria is like almost worse because especially if there's like people eating.
Fucking high ceilings and shit.
Yeah.
And I just I'm like, in front of these like 17, 18-year-old girls, I'm just like, so my abortions. But I still did okay, still.
I was the only comedian on the show, only one doing stand-up, and then everybody else was like, because it was like a kind of like a, it wasn't like a religious school, but like it was like a Presbyterian, like the Presbyterians like ran it or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
And then so like everybody was doing like like gospel and like folk songs and like stuff like that.
You get up saying, my grandmother beat my cousin's ass.
She's just like, yeah, my cousin, he's just tried to stab me.
Yeah.
I forget what else. I think I had that story, and then I had like, I don't know. I think I just told it funny enough where like it was so over the top, like everybody laughed.
That's good. Yeah.
I don't remember too much about what else I said. I don't think anything else besides that worked, but I got like the laugh, and then I remember going back to my dorm, and I was just like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah, what a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I came back to Calgary, went on crash test, did okay, and then started doing it more consistently, and then
Yeah. Where do you see your comedy career going moving forward? Just on this note of like, the innate truth and like what we actually feel is right and enjoying ourselves in our lives.
I just, what I would like is to kind of like, eventually I want to see if I can go into like another market, like a New York or a Toronto or a Los Angeles or something like that, just to see if I can. Like, I'm very passionate about comedy. I love it a lot, and I don't like saying I'm an artist, but I am an artist.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can see that you have quite like a sparkle for the creativity.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would like to go do that, and that comic Aaron Berg, he was like a Canadian guy.
Heard of him.
Yeah, well he just said like, some guy, he was from Toronto, he's like, some guys, they were content with just being Toronto comics, which is fine, but I want to, if I can try, I want to try, I want to go for it. I just don't want to just play it safe.
Definitely. I think that's so cool. Which cities are you thinking that you want to tour to?
I would love to go to New York. Tour?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to go to New York City, and I would love to go to Miami or Austin as well.
LA?
I wouldn't mind LA. I hear it's tricky to go because it's not like other places just you can get up every night. LA is a little bit more spread out. So
yeah,
but who knows?
So you, are you just thinking places in the U.S. too, or are you thinking more like Ryan Butterfield, worldwide? Worldwide.
We'll start with U.S. and kind of work from there. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I would really love to go to the U.S. too.
Yeah.
It seems kind of like L.A. and New York are kind of like closed right now, but it seems like Florida and Texas are open.
Yeah. I
was thinking of flying down to Tom Segura in Las Vegas in October.
Right.
And then driving from Las Vegas to LA just to see. I just want to see what it's like.
Yeah.
I want to see if it's as shut down and shitty as everyone up here would like us to lead us to believe, or if they're just being haters and they just don't want to try hard. They don't want to look for shit. I want to look for shit. I want to look for that backyard on a fucking picnic table, speakeasy bullshit. I'll do those rooms, those backyards.
That's good. That good stuff is great though. I love that stuff. Did you ever see? It was like they only had like 1 or 2 couple seasons, but it was like on Viceland. It was like called Flophouse.
No.
It was like all these like kind of like broken down, like crappy, like just like 4 comics in like a house type things.
Oh, that sounds fucking awesome.
And then like they would just run a show out of like their garage or like in the backyard, and it was just like debauchery, but it was like so cool just to see that. And, like you're running your own show out of a garage, and it's packed out, and you're trying to do your comedy. Like it was really cool.
It's in the pursuit of the dream.
Yeah.
I don't care if I make any money from this. That's not the goal. I don't feel like I need to make money from comedy to make it. I feel like I just need to fucking do it.
Right.
And if somebody wants to hand me a check, hey, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
Or if somebody wants to hand me a wad of cash, hey, you did a great job tonight, I'm not going to say no. But that's not why I want to do it.
Right.
That's not why I want to that's not how I'm going to get rich. That's not what I think. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But I need to fucking do it to prove it to myself that I can be the fucking best at my comedy. And how long have you been doing comedy now?
I mean, technically 3 years, but I'm not really counting this year because of COVID. But
well, I mean, you have been doing it monthly on my show.
On your show. Yeah.
I would like you to count that.
All right, sure.
I know, that's what Joel said. Joel's like, I've only been doing comedy for like 5 months, and then COVID hit. I'm like, oh, so you have 1.5 years of experience. And he's like, well, it doesn't really count.
I'm pretty sure it's 3 years now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm pretty sure,
And also, you're very active on TikTok, too. Like, I've seen that you will take some jokes from Speakeasy, and then also you'll do your own jokes.
Right.
And you're putting them on TikTok, which is really good. Yeah. I'd say that's being an active comedian, man.
Yeah. Maybe, sure.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, there's other comedians, like Tommy Meller is still very active, Dale is very active, Brett Forte is very active.
Brett Forte.
I wanted to tell you, I ran into Brett Forte in the park yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
Did you know who you were?
So, at first he didn't.
Yeah.
But then I messaged him and I'm like, it's me. And he's like, oh. So, I go into the park and, there's only like 2 other people in the park and I haven't worked out yet. And I'm just like, I'll dance. So I put in my headphones and I put on like this one song by Major Lazer that I've just been bumping.
Right.
I've just been like loving it the last 2 days. And I just start dancing and grooving, and I'm doing all these different jump arounds and leg kicks, and I look like like a silly goose. And then I look over and I see Brett Forte doing fucking like lateral raise. No, these are front raises. Doing like lateral raises off the bench. Yeah. And I look at him and I start like dancing at him, like, hey. And then he just sort of is just like, what? He just like looks away, and I'm like, oh, whatever. Maybe he doesn't know it's me, but you know my face. I know your face. Like, I know I was wearing sunglasses, but I look like me, right?
Right.
So 20 minutes goes by, 25 minutes. I'm still, like, bumping and jiving, and I finally message him, and I'm like, well, you gonna come over and dance with me? Because I know he loves to dance.
Yeah. He's
got great dance moves. You see his videos. He's just really, like, like, a lot of this.
But you gotta move.
Like, a lot of, like... grooving fucking...
He's very fluid.
Yeah, 80s fucking, he has this one where he's just doing a rail of cocaine, like, and then he's just like, starts like dancing. Anyways, he came over and we chatted a bit. And I said, I'm like, hey man, if you ever want to be on Speakeasy, it's a mic. You know, the worst thing about it is that it can't be any worse than an open mic because you're just doing it for comedians in my living room.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I like having at least an audience of 30 or 40 people. And I'm like, well, times are changing, man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I get that, though, because, like, I guess once you get used to, like, having, like, big audiences, you know, it was, like, back when Jupiter was still around, and then you go and do Punchline after. You ever do that? Like you do Jupiter, do Punchline, you do Jupiter's like all backed out and you go Punchline, and it's like really loud, and it's like in the corner.
Yeah,
It's like 3 people watching. No offense to Punchline, but it was like that a couple of times.
Where was Punchline?
It was at the Pig and Duke downtown.
Okay. I think I only did it once.
Oh yeah.
Who ran it?
What was his name? Ross Moore or something
like
that?
I did it once, with Ross Moore. Yeah, it was still a good room though.
It was a very good. It was pretty good for like how like the difficulties that room had, because it was like a lot of chatter and a lot of noise and stuff. But he made it work. Yeah, and it did fairly well. Yeah,
he was able to put people in the seats for sure. It wasn't just comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then I remember when Charlie Payne. Remember that? Is it Charlie Payne?
Charles Payne.
Charles Payne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles Payne.
I went to Don's show with him a couple times,
Yeah, Charles Payne is great. And then he was hosting there, and then I think he hosted Reckless once with us.
Cool.
And I don't know if we paid him. We're pretty sure, I hope we paid him.
Yeah. He was worth it.
He was worth it.
He's on TV.
He was on TV.
We're going to go into my next segment, which I like to call Wigging Out.
Wigging Out.
And, the whole point of Wigging Out is it's fun to pretend, so why don't we look up at the wig selection here and pick out the one we're feeling like expressing ourselves today.
I feel like the one with the bandana is pretty sweet.
Okay, but that's the same one that Joel Tim's wore.
Yeah.
And I know you two have a Speakeasy feud right now.
Alright, well, let's see if I can do this better than Joel Tim's.
Okay. Yeah, alright.
We also put on wigs.
And pretend we're not ourselves. Living our best life in our minds.
I'm gonna go with the Scholar this time.
Oh, look at that. I look like Prince Harry.
Oh, you look great. Oh, you kind of look like Louise.
Yes.
Thelma and Louise.
Yes.
Oh, hello.
How you doing? I'm Katie Glockenschleier.
Katie Glockenschleier?
Yes, I'm from Brooklyn. Did you just graduate from college?
I did. I just graduated from college.
Darling, like a literate woman is a lonely woman.
That's what my mother always tells me.
That's what your mother always tells you?
Yeah. Where are you? So you're from Brooklyn?
Oh, yes, from Brooklyn.
Yeah, what side? The east side or the west side?
Oh, Pleasant Avenue.
Pleasant. Oh,
yes.
Okay. So does the name precede it?
Yeah, it's for everybody there. I mean, if you're Jewish, it's very good. I mean, if you're Italian, you're going to get your ass kicked.
Well, I mean, who sees race these days?
Right.
That's what I learned in my very liberal college.
Yeah.
Is to not...
Where did you go, honey? Where did you go?
I went to Yale.
You went to Yale?
Yes, I went to Yale, yeah, it was. I learned so much there.
Yeah.
I took liberal arts, and it was just about being free and while being creative.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, honey. I love that. Yeah. I have a daughter. She recently went to she went to Harvard. Had to drop out. Too many wasps. But it's
I'm allergic. So.
Yes. Oh yes. And what part of the country are you from, darling?
I'm from the Midwest.
From the Midwest?
I'm from Vancouver.
Oh yeah.
I didn't study geography at Yale. So.
Oh yeah. What did you study?
Liberal arts.
Liberal arts. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about being free and creative at the same time. You can tell I'm creative by the color of my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that hairstyle, darling. It's very good.
Thank you. Yeah. You can also tell by the color of my hair that I have LED lights in my whole dorm room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you look like... Oh, yeah. You look like a Puerto Rican streetwalker.
Yeah,
you look like a Puerto Rican streetwalker.
Gee, golly gosh. I've never been to Puerto Rico, but I do like walking on the street a lot.
Do you?
With my friends. Yeah, with my friends, we walk together after class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic, darling.
Yeah, we make TikToks together sometimes.
Oh, yes.
We do dances on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm Gen Z.
That's how you salute the flag in China.
Oh, well, that's what I learned it on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
you gotta start using Reels, honey. You gotta use Reels. You can keep it American.
Instagram is for millennials. I'm a Gen Z.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Did you see that SNL skit where they tried to do Gen Z Hospital?
What's SNL?
Oh, it's a very, very poorly run network TV show.
What's TV?
It's kind of like this, but with a higher budget.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can picture it. I definitely can.
My accent's going away. It's turning like Brooklyn, and then it went Russian.
So Caitlin for Jebinold. Caitlin for Jebinold. That's your name.
Yeah.
Tell me, do you have any sons? Any sons my age?
Oh, it's just whatever mother from Brooklyn wants. You just want them to stay out of the gangs. He's trying to become a doctor. I'm very excited for him.
What's his name?
Moishi Glockenschleil. Moishi Glockenschleil.
Just like his mother.
Oh, yes. And, I don't know what ethnicity. It's Jewish, but I'm not sure what part of Europe.
That's okay. I didn't really take geography in my very expensive Yale online classes that are the same price as they are in person.
Did it say Arizona State on it?
No.
University of Arizona.
How many sons do you have?
I got 2 sons. They're very adorable. I love them both. It's just Moishi and then Alan. Alan.
Wow.
Yes.
He sounds handsome. They both sound really handsome.
Named after Woody Allen.
Oh yeah, Toy Story.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen
exactly.
I've seen some some TikToks about Toy Story.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And how old are you?
Oh, I am 101.
Oh my gosh! So that makes you. Okay, boomer?
I don't know what you're doing. What's a boomer? Are you
No.
talking about the A-bomb?
You were alive for it.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Pearl Harbor, never forget. That was the original, never forget.
Yeah. It's like when I forget that I have to go to class and I sleep in.
Oh, yeah.
Never forget.
Never forget.
That's where that came from.
Yeah.
Wow, what a juxtaposition of our 2 generations. 101 years old. I'm 18 and a half. And
How?
yeah, I just graduated. I was put ahead in my classes. So that's why I'm 18. There's a whole story behind it that makes it all make sense. So, well, it's nice meeting you.
That was very nice. I didn't catch your name.
My name is Kai. Damn it. So Ryan, thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been really fun.
Yeah, thank you for helping me find love. I really needed a man's perspective,
right,
to come to the conclusions that we came to. So
yes, yeah.
I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome, darling.
Yeah. It's so nice to have a man in the house. Thank you so much for wigging out with me.
Yeah.
And for giving me a chance to meet Katie
Glockenschleil.
Katie
Jew.
What?
You said Katie Jew.
Katie Jew. No, I just couldn't think of the rest of. Yeah,
You get you out of there.
I'm impressed that you remembered her name every time.
Yeah.
Because I, for the life of me, could not.
I'm not sure that her first name was Katie, but...
Yeah, it was Caitlin or Katie, but yeah, nailed it with that.
Yeah.
Thank you. This was so much fun. So, yeah, we'll be seeing you at Speakeasy at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And good luck to you with your comedy and everything else that you're working on, man.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Built different.
Built different.
What, you want to flex? Let's flex. Built different.
You're gonna get demonetized for this fucking intro.
Yeah.